Who has something in the background?
Probably Lou.
If there's anything good, let's listen to it.
Yeah, somebody's got to turn down their TV.
Everybody mute themselves.
Oh,
I can mute them.
Okay. It was Lou. And we lost him. And Tom walked away. Meeting adjourned? Sorry.
Okay.
No, they're muted.
Okay.
Wave, Keto, you're on TV.
Okay, I've got the meeting recording, so we're good to go.
All right, it's all you.
Okay, guys. Good evening. Thanks for being here. Hope everyone's had a safe and healthy summer so far. Since we last met, unfortunately, we've sent out emails about this. The passing of two people who've meant more than most of us have to this organization and to youth soccer. Larry Greenberg, who a dear friend of all of ours, who's been on the board for countless years, very stalwart in Boca Raton soccer, and someone who we dearly miss. When I tell you, anybody who's been on the board with him knows how many hours he put in. I'm not sure if he ever did sleep. We get emails from him, wake up in the morning, or wake up in the middle of the night, 3 o'clock in the morning, he's sending something. Wake up 5 o'clock, sending something. It was always, he was tireless in his efforts and phenomenal what he's did, and he's sorely missed. And Susanna Mirov, who I've always referred to as the First Lady of Soccer, Joe's wife, who's been just incredible for what we do and supportive of what we do for all these years and contributed so valiantly. And it's so sad that we have to report this kind of stuff. Moving on to something we hope is better. As for the league, I guess we're up and running. Jeff will talk about that in a minute. And I hope everyone's, as I said, had a good summer, and we're ready to do whatever you need us to do to help you out. So Jeff, go ahead.
Hey guys, this is the September meeting, which is one of the 4 mandatory meetings that we hold each year. So I don't really have a whole lot of information or things to bring up, although I will have some changes. There's been a couple of teams that have asked to come into the season late. I think that we'll be adding a team in the U17 Boys Division 2, probably a team in the U9 Division 2 or Division 3. And there's also a possibility that we may have a team being added in the U10. So I'm going to be trying to get that information by tomorrow midday, and we'll make whatever schedule modifications and send those out to you. In the majority of those cases, it won't affect any of your home games. It would only affect your visiting, your away games, and that would probably end up changing to a different date. Typically, that game will be moved to a Sunday. So these new teams that are coming in will have mostly Sunday games as opposed to the Saturdays that everybody else is primarily playing on. So look for that. I normally will send out an email to all the coaches in those affected divisions first for them to make sure and go in and make any changes. I do try to go in for the games that are getting added to your schedule to make sure that they meet with the availability on the fields that I currently can see. But there may be some minor changes that have to go on certain game times for the games that you would be traveling to. So just keep an eye on that. After I do send the information to the coaches for them to check their schedules, I also will send out just a general notification to all club reps that there's been changes to some specific divisions. So look for that. I think I'm going to be, now that things are kind of settling down a bit, we'll probably open up for the spring declarations toward the end of this month, and let that, you guys get started on that if you want. I know that there's been some issues with some of your game rosters might show a player that has an outstanding suspension that actually doesn't have an outstanding suspension, and that's a result of the GOT Sport player pass ID issue, where if a player that is getting a new GOT Sport ID, that GOT Sport ID actually happens to match the old FYSA pass number. And if that player happened to actually have an open suspension, when they get pulled into the roster, it might show that they are actually suspended when they're not. Not to worry, we have all the records of that. It's just going to be one of those things that we're going to have to go in after GotSport finally gets us a database and change the old FYSA pass numbers to match the new ones going forward. So if you see something like that, especially if it happens to be on your opponents and you're worried that they're playing an ineligible player, again, that's something that's up to the coaches to research and make sure that the player doesn't have an outstanding suspension. And on our site, it's very easy for them to look up players by their name and make sure that they don't have a suspension for that. So it's more important that the name match the suspension than the player pass ID when that situation would occur. And that's really all I have for right now. Barry, you're muted.
He's muted, Joe.
My wife did that. Joe, anything you wish to add?
No, right now it's the beginning of the season. Thank God, very few reports are coming in, and there's nothing that we need to discuss amongst the group. If it's as well as last year, knock on wood.
Mike, anything?
Need referees, everybody. So let's just keep pushing strong for referees because numbers are low.
Have the clubs run into that? Opening up to your questions to the people
Yes.
here. The clubs run into that problem yet?
Yes.
What do you think needs to be
They're
done?
are not registered yet. They didn't do their COVID after July 1st.
Okay. Anybody else?
Well, there was a change to the Florida referee stuff, so the guys are a little not accustomed to it, so they'll get used to it. To lose point, they haven't done it though.
Okay. Anything anyone wishes to address from your club or otherwise about what's going on with soccer right now, with the league and other opportunities or anything else?
I will bring up one thing that Becky asked me to talk about, and just make sure that, especially for your coaches that might be new, just to remind them that there are changes, not this year, but at least the past year, in terms of who's responsible for sending in game rosters when there is a dismissal on the field. It's not just if a red card comes out from a player, but if a parent gets ejected or a coach gets dismissed. At any time when that happens, if you're the home team, you need to make sure that the coaches upload a copy of that game roster, even if the referee has, given them a copy of their supplemental. For those of you that might be assigners, we are getting some referees that are taking a picture of their standard USSF supplemental, and they're not completing the one on our website. But we need the one completed on the website that's listed at the link on the bottom of the game roster for us to be able to match them up. It's important when we have to submit things to FYSA so that we can provide links to the active roster and the report from the referee. So just remind them, it's all in the coach's manual. There's the video that we did last year that's still relevant on how to have those rosters prepared and submitted. And if there's any questions, they can certainly reach out to us.
Anything else that anybody wishes to bring up concerning things they think are pertinent to the league or what's going on with their clubs?
Loving it.
Tom, you've never been quiet before. What happened?
He's busy.
I'm typing something. I'm sorry. Hey, are you going to talk about that national thing?
Wait,
with
what do you mean to
Iowa
wake you up?
stuff?
I'm sorry. What?
That Iowa thing?
Right. What he's referring to, we've sent out some information about it. There's I'm not sure how to describe it other than they describe themselves as a national league, trying to extend into Florida and South Florida with the division league winners of us and the Palm Beach League and the Broward, Miami-Dade
Would-
League. There's a call with Tom and myself and Danny Burnett Jr. about it a month or so ago. Our board discussed it. We didn't think it was anything that we should promote at this time, other than to see what happens, what's going to happen next with it. I don't think we know enough. I don't think I know enough yet, or any of us know enough yet as to what it looks like it's going to be. I know, Tom, your league seems to be somewhat committed to it, according to what I'm told. What do you think?
First of all, it's not my league, it's Palm Beach Soccer League, but
Right.
so the plan is for 4 leagues locally, CCL, Palm Beach Soccer League, Miami-Dade, and South Florida United, to send the winning team in each age group, boy and girl. So that's possibly, and I don't remember, do you remember if it's U11 and up? I forgot that.
It was U13.
Okay, U13 up. So it's possibly like 16 teams to National League Alliance North America National Championship in Tampa in July 6th through July 10th next year. But in order to qualify for that, there would be a playoffs at the end of this season and then playoffs at the end of the spring season between the 4 leagues. So each league sends 1 team. I don't quote me to price because Maya would have to say this, but I believe the price is $2,500 to the
Right.
league. To the league that would cover all 16 teams, which I thought it was not a bad price. And then, go and play. And the Tampa National Championship would basically be all of the leagues from all over the United States. We're actually lucky that it happens to be local. So it's not really travel for us, And I just think it's another way for somebody to go and play. So Palm Beach Soccer League is committed to doing it, but it only makes sense. And I know CCL will have a team. And I think Danny said he is doing it. So it's really not going to work the same if you don't have a 4th team.
Did they say, Tom, what, so is it 1 team per age group, or is it 1
Yes.
team per age group per division, or is it just?
No, it's supposed to be the best team per age group. So I would assume you would only send your Division 1 team.
Well, I guess a lot of it's going to depend upon who's going to want to go as well. I
Well,
mean, it
yeah,
might
they don't
be
want to go. So I mean, so the reason that, so you basically have, backup plans like you always do for any playoffs.
Sure.
But since you guys are hosting playoffs at the end of spring,
Right.
I don't know if people are not going to want to go play in January for anybody who wants to do it. And then once they qualify, they can still don't have to go. You can, the second place team in that age group, because maybe team falls apart by July. I don't know what happens by July,
No,
So
for sure.
I'm sure there'll be a
What about
seeding
the-
process.
What about the competitive level? I mean, Danny's under 17s are no comparison to the under 17s from here.
Also, then they'll lose. I mean, then they will lose, right? I mean,
Yeah, well, why should they enter? They know they're going to lose before they go. Unless you think they're going to go and be competitive against the other teams.
I think a part of the issue is I don't think we have a good handle, in my opinion, as to who else makes up what they refer to as a national league as the level. That's the concern. One of the concerns I have is are we doing anything that benefits anyone, or are we just creating more games against either inferior opponents, or even if it's comparable or better opponents, to pay a lot more money for our parents to pay for kids to play somewhere else, when it might not make a difference when they're already going to do that, if they're that good, in state cup, competitions here. I'm not sure. I mean, maybe gives you more than one bite at the
I don't
apple.
know. I don't know if the team that goes into this is a team that doesn't make a state cup or parallelly plays both or whatever.
Mhm.
But and I'm not going to be the one to admit that Danny's teams are weaker than South Florida United teams. I don't know why.
You don't think the Palm Beach teams at that age group are less?
Listen, a team that plays in 2 leagues, it's the same team.
True.
I mean, so the team is a team. The reason why Palm Beach teams play in Palm Beach is because they don't want to drive far away. And we keep saying how we want to have cooperation between the leagues. We want to play locally. We don't want them to drive far away. This is an easy way for everybody to play locally all season long and just meet once at the end in a central location. And it's only 4 teams that actually want to go. And it doesn't cost them any money. Well, I mean, it costs them money through the fact that the league is paying for it. But again, I don't think $2,500 for 16 teams is a lot, you know, for the facility and the referees. I believe it includes everything. So, you know, and admin, I guess.
Is there
Now, the teams from other states are probably going to be good. I don't know. I mean, how do we know anything who's going to be who they're going to be?
Yeah, it
Tom,
could be the same
my
situation.
question to you, Tom, over the years, this gentleman's name has been coming up a lot on emails. Who is he and where he's from? I mean, I get emails all the time with his name on the email as a recipient. Do you?
Iowa?
Yeah.
He, I believe, runs or somehow is affiliated with Miami United. And he, as far as I know, runs CCL up north, or at least is affiliated with CCL up north. And when they did the expansion into Georgia and Florida last year, he was involved in that.
So he's a local.
But I don't think this is something he is running. This is CCL and the link that I put in the chat, right? The National League Alliance. I mean, CCL is just one of the leagues within, you know, of the member leagues in there. They just happen to have a Mid-Atlantic, Florida, and Georgia division, but there's also a bunch of other. This is questions for him, not for me. I don't represent
Right.
this entity, rather than being one of the 4 leagues that was asked to participate.
No, we appreciate that, Tom. In fact, I'm
EDP
sorry.
was asked as well, and EDP said no. But remember, EDP has their own statewide playoffs or whatever at
Right.
the end. So
Yeah.
Okay.
So there is a Miami United club.
yes,
Are they down here in South Florida?
yes.
Yeah, they're one of yours, Lou. You just don't know. You just don't remember.
I divested myself of many. 2 of them are trying to get back. Wait,
Miami United FC, founded in late 2012.
who runs it?
Ferdinando de Mateis.
Never heard of him.
I don't know who he is. I mean,
Is
I know
that
him
Ish-
because
Is that Ish's old league?
No.
No,
it's not a league;
no.
it's a club.
It's just a club. Tom, did he talk about, and again, I apologize because I wasn't able to attend that meeting, but did he talk about the format for the 4, for lack of a better term, of our leagues that are going to be participating in that thing in?
You know, he did, but it was so long ago, and I wasn't paying
You know,
much attention.
yeah, I mean, he addressed it, but it's kind of fluid because he wasn't sure if it was our league, or it was going to be Palm Beach, it was going to be Miami-Dade, it was going to be all 3. I mean,
If
so
the
there
4
wasn't-
leagues, if the 4 leagues contribute a team, then it's, I guess, blind draw who plays who in a semifinals, I guess, and then the 2 winning teams
Yeah.
get final.
Right.
I don't think
But I
that.
mean, in terms of when it occurs or who's responsible for
Well,
all
he
that, was
originally
that?
he originally talked about December. And I said that wasn't going to work because our league wasn't going to be over by then. And then he was talking about January, and part of that was dependent upon school and who's going to travel, and you know, it was kind of an undetermined, indefinite situation because he's also doing people outside of this state, and playing in January in other states is very different than playing in January.
No, but
in
no,
this
hold on, Barry, you're confusing it. There is, they have 2 seats in Tampa National Championship. 1 seat would be filled from the playoffs in January, in which South Florida United would contribute their top team, Palm Beach contribute their top team, Miami would contribute top team, and CCL would contribute their top team. There would be 1 seat. Whoever wins that would go to Tampa. The other seat will be taken by end of spring season playoff, same format.
Right.
And I do not, please do not quote me on this. I don't know if $2,500 is, I believe $2,500 is for both, but I don't know for.
I agree. I
And he
think so, too.
buys them. They're probably going to use the Premier Complex or whatever the thing, no Premier, whatever the Paradise. I don't know what they're going to use, whatever. So whichever complex they're going to rent, the $2,500 per league, which is basically $10,000, rents the property, gets the referees, organizes everything. you play your Saturday semifinals, Sunday finals, and then you wait until July to play in the national championship.
Gotcha.
If you qualify, and you happen, let's say that you also win first spot in South Florida United U17 boys first division in the spring. Well, you probably don't go again. Maybe the second guy goes because you already qualified to go to Tampa, you know? And
Right.
so, and they want to keep a ranking of 1, 2, 3 because again, something could happen to a team and number one team is not available. So let's assume, to answer Lou's question, the biggest ballers in South Florida U17 team chooses not to go, and then shitty Palm Beach U17 team gets a bye.
That,
Well,
I didn't
you know,
say
maybe they're
that.
gonna do good in the Nationals, maybe they won't. I don't really know.
Doesn't
Sorry,
it
Lou, I just
depend on
translated
who
it
they
in plain
bring
English.
to
But
these
that's what he
other-
said.
I liked it though.
Yeah.
But Tom, doesn't it really depend on what other leagues from what other states really matter? Because I mean, we could put our 4 leagues together, do a playoff, and go up there. And who do we play? What leagues? from what state?
What about
Well,
Tampa
click
and
on the
Orlando?
link. Click on the link in the chat, and it tells you who the leagues are. So there's 35 members in Champions League. There is 25 members in CCL. There's 100+ members in whatever that spells. Those 5 members in Illinois. I mean, like, there's 185+ clubs. Hundreds. Again, I'm reading the graphic. 175,000+ players, 15 states. Stay tuned, more to come.
But didn't
I'm
he
gonna go back to
invite
what
the
I said
rest?
before. We keep saying we're gonna do something together. We're gonna work together. Here is somebody handing us something on a silver platter, and we are nitpicking about not knowing what's gonna happen in July. Who gives a
No,
crap?
no. I mean, I sat on the committee with Greg and we couldn't put it together, but did he not invite
Greg couldn't put butter on his toast, so why are you surprised?
I'm not going there. Not going there. Did we not put this out to all the strongest, or let me rephrase that, because I can't believe I'm gonna say this online. Tom, I actually do agree with you.
It's,
Nobody has the right. and I
Hold
totally
on,
agree.
wait.
it's
Yes.
being streamed.
It's okay. It's
No.
I had a half a drink today. Hold on. What'd you say?
No, take notes. Nobody has the right to say that somebody in SFU is better than Tampa, better than the Palm Beach League, or better than Tallahassee. That's not fair. We got to remember that
No, but we
Immokalee
always
won
do
the
it.
national championship. So Greg's biggest downfall was that he was only going to invite so many leagues, and you can't do that with FYSA.
No.
And if you invite one, you must invite all. So that would be my question, Tom. I agree with you that nobody has that right to say Miami-Dade U16 team would do something like Immokalee did and win the national championship. That's not fair. But did he invite the rest of the state that you know of, or just us 4?
I do not know. I do not represent this organization.
How could
No,
they
it's
not
just
invite
question.
Tampa?
I'm just one of the 4 leagues that was happy to be invited. I think that we all keep saying how South Florida has the strongest competition, right? And then based on some results, that's true. CCL, as well as South Florida United, has clubs from both East Coast and West Coast. We are not just South Florida teams, right? So
sure.
the winner of South Florida United U17 boys could be Missouri Storm. I don't really know who
Yeah.
it is. So it's really, a third of the state. Do we really want to have these playoffs? I mean, we can have 8 teams participate, but we can't even get to the 4th freaking team. So right now, he invited 5, and 4 are in the running, with South Florida United, as far as I can understand, being the only one not being committed yet. I think Danny is committed, but I don't have him on a call. I can just say what Maya said to me. Chenoy and I said yes right away, because if a team who can never get past 3rd or 4th in South Florida United actually wins Palm Beach, my son's team, and that's how they get there, and they get lucky in a draw and then eventually get to nationals, why not give them that opportunity?
Sure. Well, definitely we can put the information out to the members and see what they want to do. I think that that's probably the smartest thing. for us.
Nobody's forced to play, right? I mean,
Right.
Exactly.
And the issue then becomes if the first, look, we've run the same problem in the playoffs too. If the first team or second team or third team isn't available, other teams move up and they become invited to participate in our playoffs. They become invited to participate in anything else. But
Sure.
I think if I remember correctly, Barry, he said every league will decide how they will
right, exactly.
how
Right.
they will do it. So, for example, in Palm Beach, we have, and I don't know how it's going to be this year, but we have a league champion, which is whoever won 6 or 8 or 9 or 10 or whatever games.
Yeah.
And then there's playoffs, and a playoff champion doesn't have to be whoever won the league.
Well,
So
yeah, that happens with us too. But
Yeah, that would happen with us. Our fall season
you
would
could
be on the
potentially
ladder. Yeah.
you could potentially say we're going to invite. Well, you guys are not going to have playoffs yet, so you really can't do that, right? But
Well, for the fall, we could use the ladder system. Yeah. Whoever's on top of the table at that point.
And just so you know, for Palm Beach Soccer League, our early season ends in November. So we're already starting our regular season in December. So I don't know when the actual decision has to be made. It is possible that if there was especially on the girls' side, if there was a division that didn't exist in an early season, but exists in regular season, and 4 games into it, we kind of see who the breakaway person is in that thing, since we had to make a decision at some point, that we could say, okay, for the 2008 girls, we are, offering the spot to you.
Sure.
And, I mean, like, I don't think anything is set in stone, but the idea is to send your best team.
Is the team a club team or a league team?
Club team.
There's
Club
an
team.
answer.
No, it's a club team. It's not an all-star or whatever.
Okay.
Why not?
right.
All-star teams from leagues are legal.
Yes.
Well, let's assume that you have a division in which there's issues, and you wanted to do something like that. I'm sure you could probably do something. The question is who claims the win later.
Yeah.
Very true. All right. Well, I'll definitely look at putting something out to everybody and see if we can't get, as we obviously have no quorum tonight to consider anything.
Why don't you reach out to Mayawa? I know Barry wasn't paying too much attention. Plus, Shana Tova, by the way. Plus, he's having too many holidays this week, so
He has been
maybe you
very
can-
busy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's right, because Terrell and I started fasting to atone for all my sins in 24 hours. I should have started about a week ago. That's okay.
Oh. Anything else?
Godsport sucks. Is this live? Godsport sucks.
Yes, it's live, and yes, we'll. I can edit that out later if you like.
Have
but-
we
No, it's okay.
have we had to deal with any of the recent stuff with them, or
Oh yeah.
I saw that one email that came across asking they wanted to have a forum with someone from Godsport to say what the issues we're having. And I said we didn't have enough time for that, but we will try. But I don't know whatever happened with that.
Would they listen to you guys? Because they don't listen to us.
They don't listen to us.
No.
I've got several items that I've requested, and the only way that I get any response at all is if I talk to Joel and get Joel to get them to send me it, and I'll get a partial answer. I won't get the full thing.
Well, that makes me not feel so bad.
No, they hate us.
They hate everybody.
No, if you don't agree with them, they don't like you. It's like being married.
Well, they got the office staff so intimidated, they won't even answer questions.
They don't know the answers.
That's probably more likely the truth. Yeah.
Yeah, could be.
And just so we
No,
are clear, no matter how much they suck, it's only 30% their fault. It's the other 30 is FISA's fault, and the other 30 is clubs who just haven't done their job and keeping on top of shit.
It's a good point.
I don't know who the other 10 goes. I think it's like a merry-go-round. Depends on a particular issue.
So why don't you pick up the mantle and
I offered to run. They didn't want me. I'm good. Thanks. I mean, I really didn't want to win because I would have inherited a really huge pile of shit.
so
Tom,
all you
with all due
wanted was
respect-
a hat, right?
Had you won, not won, whatever, would it make a difference to those people?
No, I would have inherited a pile of shit. But the thing is, the people who
That's a legal term
created
I'm
the
familiar
pile
with that,
now have it, so they can enjoy it. Listen,
Okay.
the same thing when I ran for your treasurer. Don't tell me later I didn't offer. So I offered. I mean, I was
Okay.
crossing my fingers I don't
So-
win, but by the way, you still haven't filed your taxes. You still didn't get back your nonprofit status,
We're
501c3.
not nonprofit, but we will be shortly.
Okay.
Anybody else have anything else?
I've been asking for it since 2016.
Well, that was a good year. Anything else? Going, okay. Next meeting would be when?
I think it's November.
November, hold on, let's take a quick look at November. November 9,
Most likely it's November. I'll double check.
most likely November 9. If obviously anything anybody needs before then, you know we're available to you.
And if not, call Tom.
Can I ask a question, please?
Sure, go
Yeah,
ahead.
If it's a
Louis.
God soccer
You
question,
said
yes.
How, is there some plan to honor these two gentlemen who left us, or the two
Gentleman
people?
and woman, yes. We've discussed it a little bit internally. We're going to figure that out, but the answer is yes.
Okay, can I add
Yes, please.
a name for your consideration?
Yes, please.
There was a lady who used to run the girls' league,
Ah,
Who?
Lagza?
Lugza,
Diane.
Diane Ray.
Oh,
And I think if it's, if it's not too much trouble, I think it would be a great
yes.
thing for us to do.
Is that the
But she
old
was
Pleasant
very
days?
much involved.
Yeah, no, Diane, definitely. I've known Diane my whole life. So yeah, you're right, Lou.
I would agree. Yeah.
Good point. Thank you, Lou. So I'll mark that down, and we are discussing a fitting tribute or whatever, and that's something we'll actually include. Thank you.
Name a cup after them.
And more importantly, let's do this before any of us have to be named to that list too.
Yes, hurry up.
Spoken well. Okay, everybody, have a great evening, and we'll be in touch shortly. Thank you so much.
Stay
Thank you.
safe, y'all.
You're welcome. Thank you.